Kanambia, so now, just be careful, because with pregnant women, COVID can actually end up
affecting
it. No, he said it can like eradicate the pregnancy, like it can lead to a miscarriage. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Now and we know we have a miscarriage history. Now this COVID.
It was life-threatening for me and for the baby.
So, I remember towards the end of July, it was a long holiday. We had just closed school. So we usually take advantage of that period to at least get to do more with the family, travel, any project you wanted to do. You do it between July and August, because once September comes back and schools are back in session, kind of becomes hectic to go back to those things again. So Milkon Mepanga, end of July, we go with Soila to, coast some 3 days and come back. So as we were planning all that, I start feeling some flu-ish issue. And you know where I'm going with this. Start feeling some flu, some weird headache, some weird pain, around the eyeballs. And I'm like, hey, what kind of coma is this? Meanwhile, I'm moving around. I've taken antihistamines. I've taken whatever I usually take for medicine. And I'm like, in 2 or 3 days, I'll be up and running. In 2 or 3 days, I'm starting to feel some weird shivers.
Yeah.
When I'm sleeping. Some weird body aches, some weird muscle aches. So I'm like, Soila, I think I have malaria. So it's like, hey. I was like, hey, let me go to the hospital, get this thing sorted, because I've been feeling like this for a while. Around a week.
Yeah.
So I go to the hospital.
Did you tell me to take you?
Yeah, she went with me.
Yeah.
So we go to the hospital and I go tell the nurse everything at the trial. Then she goes like, I will go do a COVID test. And I'm like, this doesn't feel like COVID, as if I know how COVID feels like, because I've not had COVID before.
No.
So I go do my COVID test, and I'm like, I can smell. Yeah, I'm smelling, I'm not having breathing difficulties. This cannot be COVID.
Yeah.
So I go do my test, and sure enough, the results come back, and it is COVID-19. Now, we were the first people to start dealing with the Delta. And I think that's why for us, the symptoms were very unfamiliar, because what we've read about COVID and what we are feeling now, this ain't COVID. So before they came and started saying what Delta feels like, we were like, oh, we were the first people in Kenya to start having that.
We're among the first people, yeah.
We don't know where we got it from, but obviously just from around. So we are here, I've tested. Soila is showing no symptoms at all.
If anything, I'm the one who's taken to the hospital. I'm like, hey, you take this. Now you're supposed now to figure out how to protect me because I'm pregnant. He's like, don't come close to me. Don't bring Ramani close to me. Also, when I'm around you, I'll wear, because you're pregnant, you can't just keep on wearing a mask. Now it's him who's to wear a mask when we are around each other. He has to keep distance, even in the bedroom, probably. We were like, just ensure a pregnant woman does not catch COVID-19.
And actually, Reman is the one who started showing symptoms first.
Yes.
I don't know where he got it from, because I believe I got it from him. So I don't know who he interacted with. But so here we are trying to deal with these things. Then, was it the next day? Soila starts saying, hey, I'm feeling like a sore throat.
Yeah.
So we didn't know whether it was...
Yes, it started as sore throat. Then from sore throat I started coughing. Now for mine was cough. Now I said my eyes were like, you're coughing too much. I'm like, there's nothing about it. But the cough was just persistent coughing that is not going anywhere. Then I have a sore throat and I'm like, I thought it was just an irritation. When you have a sore throat, then you want to cough to just relieve the irritation on your throat. And I'm like, coughing. Guys like, we are going to the... but then I was actually not going to the doctor. It's Candice who insisted.
Yeah.
Babe, you have to go to the hosi and just confirm if this is COVID. I was constantly afraid of doing COVID tests. Well, not because I'm afraid of COVID, but because I did not want those things that goes into you, that they put in your nose.
Swab.
I hated COVID tests. I hate it because of that thing, the swabbing thing. And Kat is like, no, we have to go.
Yeah.
And like, we were just in the hospital the other day. Now, actually, it was on a Friday, I think, for yours.
Yeah, mine Friday.
Yeah, because I remember telling
you started feeling funny on Saturday. Yeah.
Because I remember when we had to go with my nanny because she was leaving for her off. We said, let's all go. Then we'll drop you close by. Yeah, you will go home. So we all pack our bags and go and shucks, do the feeling things you feel and waiting to sit down and be done for the test. Friends, they did the test, they did the swabbing thing. I remember, because I remember that mama. And then the worst thing with COVID, if you get a bad nurse,
she wasn't smiling, she wasn't friendly, but she just had a bad mood.
It's true.
She inserted that thing in your nose and she went
like... she was like...
I was just feeling pain for Soila watching her.
Yeah, it was really bad.
You know.
She tested it and then we went home for us to get the results. You know, they used to, even new as they sent it through email. So we went home and they sent it through email. Now this is, we went Friday? No, Saturday. They sent it through email and we're like, what time do we need to confirm? And then they confirmed that and those, they said in a similar antigen positive or something. That's what they were trying to say, that you really have COVID.
Yeah, the antigen has been detected.
Or something. Yeah.
So
and like it's fine. But now
the antibodies, some of the antigens.
I don't know one of that. But now from that time, for us, we said to
Let me tell you. We went and I told the doctor, hey, by the way, my wife has been patikana na COVID and she's pregnant. He just looked at me with this look in his face like, eh?
Oh really?
Eh. Kanambia, so now just be careful because with pregnant women, COVID can actually end up
affecting
it. No, he said it can like eradicate the pregnancy, like it can lead to a miscarriage. But this is the funny thing. I wasn't scared. I was not scared. I was not shocked. I was not like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now, you know, and we know we have a miscarriage history. Now this COVID, I had no fear for some reason.
But you didn't tell me that, right?
I didn't, because you would have developed the fear.
It's true, I would have. So can't you see that information from me? So we did this. We went. When we found when the test came that we are positive, we had to go back to the hospital to now be given prescription. So we go back the following day to the hospital to get the prescription. And now since I'm pregnant, the guy is like, you know you're pregnant, we just can't give you. First of all, Curtis, I remember that night, because I know we left the hospital around noon, 12 a.m. Because we had to go to German Center to do the scanning to see the extent of the damage, and thank God there was no those things in the lungs. And Emmy, I was just happy waiting for him in the car, just coughing, little by little. You're just in the light, just coughing here and there, only for me to not knowing that tomorrow it will be me, just tomorrow. And he decides that the only thing I can write for you, there's a few dollars that he wrote for me, but call your gyna for them to advise what you need. Now, knowing that you're COVID positive, first of all, what we did immediately, we secluded ourselves from our friends. We decided to stay home and no one is coming to visit. We are not going to anybody's home. It was like that. So we got home, I think with whatever prescription they had given us, and then we called. No, we actually, he advised us, just call your gyna to tell you. And since again you can't go because of seclusion, and I'm like, I can't take myself to a clinic whereby there are other pregnant women and there are other workers there. Let me just do the phone call. So I called the doctor, and then she started explaining to us what we need. If anything, it was Candice who did the calling, and said, okay, now get this and get that. So we were given those zincs. That everybody was given zinc. And again, since I have my own, and since I have my supplements, they had to also figure out so that I don't have also an overdose of some of these vitamins, zinc, whatever. Those are things that normally be pregnant women supplements. And I was trying for prescription. Day 1, day 2, then the cough is not going nowhere.
It's not going anywhere.
Okay, Daddy. English. The cough is not going anywhere, and it's getting worse. And we decided, we didn't go back to the hospital, did we?
No, we didn't.
We didn't go back to the hospital. Oh no, now our contact person was constantly our gyna. Curtis called the doctors like, hey, this cough is not going anywhere. What you need to do, what should we do? And she's like, okay, now I'm going to give you a cough syrup. Initially, we didn't have a cough syrup because we thought the cough is going to go away. We're going to give you a cough syrup, and you're going to give you the ones that do not have those things that make you sleepy. I've forgotten. They have different names. The Benylins. I was given Benylin and first bottle out. Curtis's condition, the guy is recovering. If anything, what happened, just back kidogo, Nani goes, that evening, I decided to make chicken or something. And I put salt, and I'm not tasting the salt. I'm telling Curtis, I have put salt, soy sauce, and I'm not feeling it. I'm not tasting it. Please come and tell me if this is good spicing. The guy comes and tastes and like...
Wait. Soila, you're skipping.
What?
You're skipping.
What
so,
skipped?
This is what happened.
We
wake up the next morning. So we've woken up, it's just Soila and I, the nanny is not in. So I'm like, Remani has woken up also. We need to sort him some food. So I go wake Remani up, or rather Remani has already woken up, and I'm changing his diaper. So as I'm changing his diaper, I'm like, Remani has very bad poop. Why is this one not smelling? So I put the diaper here, there's nothing. I put the diaper so close until the poop touched my nose. There's no smell, and I was like, So I wrapped the diaper really well. I go open the fridge. I took out some food that was in the fridge. I smell it, nothing. I put it in the microwave for it to become warm. I smell, nothing. Kambia Soila. Tumepatikana.
It's true.
And I was just like, yep, it's COVID. If we had any doubt,
now it is.
It is COVID. My smell has gone. Soila still had her smell.
Lemmy was still fine.
She still had her smell. She still had her taste. Until later on that day.
Yeah, that day when I was making dinner was food. I know it was chicken, and then I called Curtis to come and
taste. Your taste went before.
Yes, my taste went before. Yes.
My smell went before yours, but your taste went before yours.
And he tasted the salt, like, this food has so much salt. And I'm like,
it had, you know the salt that cuts your tongue?
I was like, do not add anymore. I was like, I had not tasted, I couldn't taste salt. I said, whoa, baby, now it's time to, we have COVID. And initially we were laughing about it until like 4 days into it. And my goodness, everything changed. First of all, we had gotten the Benylin, so the Benylin bottle, and it was out. And I constantly kept on coughing. So my symptoms became coughing, like persistent coughing. What else? Lack of appetite. My appetite went through the window. Remember, guys, I'm pregnant. I need to be eating well because I have supplements to take. No energy, fatigued. Whatever you're saying, you started having shivers. I started having the shivers now. I was like, yo, this is not just, it's not funny anymore. Bottle 1 ikaisha. Week 2 comes, and we're like, hey, what you're trying to figure out is how we're going to amp my appetite because of food. I need to eat food. You're carrying a pregnancy. And Curtis says, we're going to do fruit shopping. I think that's the best way to increase appetite. Remember, again, when you're pregnant, you just can't be given any other madawas. They have very, very specific. Also, how our gynecologist was going about it, she was like, okay, we'll keep on giving you different dawas as we see your progress. But week 2, she's like, how is she doing? It's becoming worse. And there are different secret conversations these guys are having that me, I'm not private to with the doctor. And Curtis is not even telling me anything, just saying, the doctor, I think you guys were talking with Kushbu like thrice in a day. You constantly keep calling. Because also you are in a bit of place of haha in here, like what's happening?
Me, I started to haha because of you. I'm like, and you know, they say with COVID, don't sleep. Because that virus wants your body to be inactive.
Yeah.
So that it can take over.
I couldn't even...
You're supposed to be not overactive, but you're supposed to be moving around. Yeah. So Soila is not moving around. She's not eating.
I was feeling cold.
She's coughing. Yes. She's removing some... What was that? She had the craziest congestion I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, the dawas are not responding. She's taking dawa, the congestion irritates her, she removes it.
Yeah, it was just
so just like, what? And then now I'm remembering, the woman is pregnant. She's pregnant.
And remember what the doctor told you
in
the hospital when did the test that it can easily. Maybe I have no idea about that it can easily lose a baby. But again, the doctor was like, it's a very sensitive. It's a very sensitive time, and yes, we've lost our mother.
And then, hey, you guys, COVID is spiritual warfare.
Yeah,
it is warfare on the mind on a whole other level, because for me, okay, COVID meant different things to different people. For me, I felt like I was contending with the spirit of death.
Oh no, it's 100%.
No, not really death physically, but death, the thought, the mind, the posture. Because you, at that time, you're looking at somebody next to you who's going through it all. You're watching TV, and they're telling you today, this number of people have passed. Today, this number of people on the oxygen,
those news,
they have passed.
The news was many
this number of people have been infected, these ones have succumbed. So you look at those statistics
like, yo.
And you are like, so tomorrow what will they say?
Yeah.
Which side of the statistic
will
I land? So it made me to be at a place of constant prayer. I prayed.
You did.
I prayed. I studied the word just to get my mind to be in a certain state. Because you can easily lose hope.
Yeah.
You can easily be at a place of, by the way, that's it. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird to explain it. Because even when I was getting better, I was still battling the fears and the thoughts. Like deep down in my heart, I know I'm not going to die. I know this thing is not killing me. But there's that place that your mind is just struggling because of what your eyes are seeing physically.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a battle of what is real, what is true, versus what is, what is fact.
Yeah.
If I may put it that way.
Yeah, So
Soila was coughing. We even suspected she had pneumonia at some point.
I think, week 3 now. Second week in Asia, I finished almost 2 bottles of Benylin.
Nothing.
There's no improvement at all. If anything, I'm becoming worse. So 3rd week comes here. Now the only thing that I want to take down is fruits. Because even food, no, they even went to buy bones for me to have bone soup for calcium and all that. So I was interchanging between the 3. Alafu, it was a cold time. There was not much sunshine. Remember, my husband was telling me, let's go walk outside. And taking 2 steps will irritate my throat. And I'd want to cough and puke. Going to bed at night was my worst nightmare. Because just like tilting my body to go to sleep, something just happens around the throat area and I will cough. And my coughing would make me run out of air. So
and not only that, it would squeeze your diaphragm.
I forgot
it would squeeze your diaphragm, which would also end up having an impact on the womb.
Remember the pain? Like the pain, I coughed so much, my ribs were painful, like just, or laughing. It was excruciatingly painful. Like ribs ni uchungu, lungs ni uchungu, and that's when we said probably now this is just pneumonia, but you couldn't even come out of the house. We're like, we'll figure out when to go to the hospital, but right now the only time we could get at least we are on constant consultation with the doctor, because there's nothing much to do. Now the guy had to go, now he was sold. I think week 3 he was sold. Now, man, God said, get the oxygen thingy.
Yeah,
you got the oxygen thingy, we got the parameter, those things for measuring temperatures, just for us to constantly measure where I'm at. So Curtis will measure me in the morning, he'll measure me in the afternoon, he'll measure me at what time, evening, at night. Anytime he sees me like doing a lot of coughs, like bring that finger of yours and you do oxygen test. And I think the lowest we've ever went to is 80 something.
89.
89? Yeah, I went to 89.
89. Most of the time it was 95.
Yeah, which was not bad. But I didn't hit the 99 mark. I was constantly 95, 90, 87. And when you say 87, and then you had to take the shots, the photos and send to the doctor, so she also knows where you're at. So it was just a lot of communications between my Curtis and the doctor, and me constantly coughing and not stopping to cough. And now we are now trying to figure out how to eat healthy now. The bone soups, the porridge, and the fruits. That's what I was at least trying to eat. Then week 3 nenda kuisha, and really now the cough is still there, but the congestion is so much, like there's sputum that is not coming out.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just worse than I'm like, Aish, Curtis. So my problem even is not about the coughing. Coughing, you can cough.
It's this thing that is refusing.
There's thing that's refusing to come out, and the pain was still there. Like, I don't know what that was. Yani, the pain was too much. I remember going to Facebook to just see, now Curtis was saying the news, and we watch the news to just know what's happening, what is the new development in the country about COVID and all that. We became now aware of whatever is happening. You know, Kitabo used to ignore those news, the news articles. Now we are like, want to know, because it was the first thing that starts the news. Want to know. And I remember this lady on Facebook that she posted, and it's like we got COVID around the same time, and her now she had to be on oxygen, and she was sharing her development on Facebook. And then this day she posted and she's like, "Hey, you guys, I think I'm giving up. I can't fight this anymore." And I understood her 100%. Because every time going to bed for me, and then the coughing and running out of air, I'd like, honestly, I think death is the best option at this particular time. It was so tiring to keep on coughing, one. Secondly, and I think at that time now, my pregnancy symptoms had dwindled, like the first time. Now we're in second trimester, things are a bit better. You're supposed to enjoy your second trimester. But I was here dealing with COVID for like almost a month. You're going to sleep, you're coughing, and then you sleep in one position. Then when you want to turn, you're just afraid of turning, because when you turn, it's another movement, trigger you to cough. And I just thank God, because it was just faithful, because Reman used to sleep in our room, in his crib, and I'd cough like heavily, and he'd never wake up. You know, throughout the night, the boy was just as graceful. He'll just sleep throughout the night with the crazy coughs. And waking up in the morning again, trying to have, I think also was also making me feel a bit better. And then I think now going to week 4 or something, now coughing was now worse. Because yes, the sputum was there, it's not coming out. The congestion was there, not coming out. I'm still feeling pain in the ribs and everything, in the diaphragm and all the areas when you cough. And now, coughing makes me lose air completely. So he had to be given that inhaler. I was prescribed for inhaler. Now, and then I had blocked nose the entire month. Remember, we were trying to do steaming all the time. And like, let's do this steam thingy. So I can remember us taking turns in the pot, the kitchen.
Why didn't we take photos?
With Masai sugars.
So would boil garlic, ginger, lemon.
Yeah.
And then as it steams, we cover ourselves with Masai
to me a gas your month, because it was constantly in the morning. Curtis would do it in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the midday, during the midday.
And then you drink that.
In the evening, and then before we go to bed. So in the morning, the first thing Curtis will do, he'll do his 10 minutes or 10 minutes, and then he calls me. 5 minutes. So me, yeah, I'm going to and inhale it. So this is what will happen to me. At that time when I'm inhaling, everything is nice. When I remove and go back to the living room, I'm blocked again. It was just too bad.
It was annoying.
It was really annoying. And so 4th week, we decided to get the inhaler. Curtis gets the inhaler, and then within the first 2 days, I'm struggling with that thing, because I don't know how to use it. Because when I cough, when you cough and then the air, you're running out of air. Now you were supposed to inhale. But me, I wasn't feeling I wasn't feeling any difference with using the inhaler. I'm just coughing and then staying still to wait for you to regain back the amount of oxygen that you need to continue pumping blood to whatever parts of your body that needs to be pumped blood for to. And honestly speaking, that month was the scariest. I was talking about that lady, and she was saying on her Facebook post that Pale amefika, she's giving back, she's giving up. And I'm like, I totally understand you. Imagine you can give up together, because 3 weeks of fighting and there's no improvement. You're constantly being added to
and then you're like, I was like, Amma will take her to the hospital. But I'm like, even in the hospital, people are dying.
Yeah, people are dying.
So we might just as well.
Yes. And then it's a day we're watching news, and like all the critical beds were full.
There were no beds.
We're like, baby, we were to get worse right now. There's no way we're going.
Oxygen tank was like 600. So
but then we're like, yeah.
We're in the hands of God.
You guys, it was just, yes. Yeah. And then our mom, because she works away abroad, every time she had to keep on calling. How's Soila doing? How are you doing? What's happening? And then the thing is, she's not in the country. It's worse for her because she's not close to where the children are going through the most. Now, my dad had recovered from it, and my dad even went to the hospital, was hospitalized. Me in the house. So let me tell you, the hope and the faith that I was holding on to is the hope of my father. Having gone through it, having gone to having oxygen and still came out so strong. And I'm like, you're going to come out so. That is the string of hope I was holding on to. I'm like, if you save my dad is way older than me. I'm younger, yes, I'm pregnant and all that. But also him is old, you know, he has underlying conditions here and there. But he came out of it and he's so strong. The guy is walking around, you know, and doing his own to be asharas. So yeah, also me, I'm going to come out of it. And despite it being very challenging, and yes, guys, it was life-threatening for me and for the baby. I remember even for that month, I didn't go for my baby checkups. One, because you couldn't just show up in the clinic and you have all that. We were just praying. Now, the doctor's concern was the health of the mother. That's what they say. It's the health of the mother. How's the mother doing? Because ukifika hapo, you know, anything can happen. Yes. So it's like, now we have to probably just consider a bit of how the mother is doing, her oxygen, her coughing, and everything.
The other thing that used to make me happy is every day when I would ask you, has the baby kicked today?
Yes, that's the thing we kept on looking at.
There are times you'd be like, today I've not had the baby. I'm like, oh, jump scare. Okay. I would keep quiet. I didn't want to start putting fear in your mind. But in my heart, I'm like, wow, the baby hasn't kicked today.
Yeah.
Then before you go to sleep, you say, kameamuka.
Yeah, I think that was the other thing. Constantly checking if the baby is okay. If the baby is going to kick, then the baby is fine. They're still playing, they're still energetic. I know remember the kicks are not as strong or as heavy because again, second trimester and all that. But at least any sort of movement in the womb would make me feel good. But any delays in the baby kicking would another set of worry. But being COVID, having COVID and pregnancy, and also having your husband sick, it was just
now for
crazy.
me, the other thing is that when I had COVID, the effects were not as heavy. But the moment I pondered, because you know in 10 days the virus leaves your system. When it left, the pain I had on my ribs.
Oh, you also did have?
On my ribs and on the chest, especially on the side. What? Kuhema, like I'll just walk like 5 stairs and I would be like,
yes, it's also that.
So there are those things that it leaves you with even after you recover. And for me, that's what I felt most of the effects afterwards. I would get fatigued very quickly, you know, but with time it dwindles. But
yes, what you're saying about battling death and probably thinking it's the best option, it really, honestly, because me, I was like, I just need rest. I need rest from coughing. I need rest from pain. I need rest from that pain was the and that's why we're saying probably it was pneumonia because the pain was just intense, and then they can't take me through scans because again the baby pregnancy.
Now fast forward, that was late July.
That's entire August now.
No. August, it was just 1 week. This thing started late July into August. By mid-August, to move around. So, August kuishas, September kuishas, October. So October, we are on midterm. And I'm feeling funny. I'm feeling, what sore throat is this? When I had COVID, I didn't have sore throat. So now I'm having sore throat. And I'm like, what sore throat? Sore throat is this? Soila is fine. I'm hearing some crazy headache. You know that headache that hits you on one side? Bah! I'm hearing some crazy headache.
You're having, not hearing. You're having.
I'm a Kenyan. So I'm hearing. I'm hearing some headache that is chapping me one side, you know. This sore throat that it's not going. You know, I'm taking dawas, it's not going. You know, I'm just feeling all sorts of things. And I'm like, don't tell me COVID part 2 is upon us. Because I can't. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, they say that once you get COVID, you are immune for like 3 months. So I was calculating August, September, October. I'm like, okay, I'm on the 3rd month. Could I have gotten that thing again? So I'm feeling all these flu things. I'm feeling all these symptoms that were even worse than COVID. You know, so I'm like, have I gotten another strain of COVID? What is this? So I go to, but Soila is fine. Everyone in the house is fine. So I go to the hospital. After some time, I started itching, you know, started developing spots. So I go to the hospital. And I tell the doctor, hey doc, some of these hospitals are just fake. And they have big names. So I go to the hospital. I will not mention the name because we are not like that. But I go to the hospital, I tell the doctor, hey, I'm feeling like this, like this, like this. It's kind of like how I was feeling when I had COVID, but it's only, the feelings is worse. So he's like, hey, okay, maybe you've gotten COVID again. I'm like, really? But I'm not feeling the obvious symptoms like, you know, losing smell, losing taste. I had a sore throat last time. He was like, maybe it's COVID. And then I was like, but I'm also feeling these funny spots, and I'm concerned it could be chickenpox because I was exposed to someone who had chickenpox 2 weeks ago, and I've never gotten chickenpox in my life. So he's like, okay, just stand. So I stand, I remove my shirt. He examines me, and like, I know this is not chickenpox. I've seen chickenpox before, and this is not it. So I'm like, so what could it be? It's just like, okay, you just take your time. After 2 or 3 days, you come and see. But I'll give you the medicine that people apply when they have chickenpox, just in case. It's chickenpox. But this is not chickenpox. So I was like, okay. I take the medicine. I go home. First of all, there's a time nikambia doki, but nikambia doki. So I'm concerned because my wife is pregnant, and I've read about chickenpox. Chickenpox is a nightmare for pregnant women. My son is also a toddler. Chickenpox can also be, you know, he can also be able to contract it. So could they probably get vaccinated before it starts acting on them? Then it's like, but there's no vaccination for chickenpox. So you me have done my homework on Google. I know what I'm talking about. But it's like, no, there's no vaccination for chickenpox. That one you just have to get it. Kasema sawa. I went home. I was sleeping over at my mom's at that time. My mom is also a medic. So I go to my mom, I tell my mom, this is what the doctor said, nini. So my mom is like, Ebu, let me see your back. So I show her my back. She just saw my back and she said, fake doctors.
Yeah.
Just like, who are these
and
fake
the prescription
doctors?
the doctor gave you was just weird.
The prescription was weird because my mom just looked at me and she was like, you have chickenpox.
Yeah.
You know, so she gave me the dawas for chickenpox. You know, it's an antiviral. It doesn't treat you, but it reduces the symptoms of chickenpox so that it doesn't mess up with you. Because for adults, chickenpox is way worse than for kids. Yeah. Kids handle it very well. Yeah. Adults, it can be fatal.
It's true.
Adults, it can be fatal. And this is the funny thing. The symptoms for chickenpox on adults is the same for COVID. If you go search on Google, same thing. So breathing issues, whatever, and eventually even death in extreme situations. So I was just like, wow, who gets chickenpox at 32? You know, I was like, yani a whole 32, mbaba mkubwa coming. When my friends were getting chickenpox,
what were you doing?
What was I doing? Yeah. It's coming to me now.
Yeah.
You know, but thank God I was able to recover from it. But this is what I'll tell you guys. This is what I'll tell you guys. If you're an adult and you've not had chickenpox, just go get the vaccine.
Yeah.
Because that thing, it's very embarrassing on grown-ups. Yeah. It can put you in a very awkward situation. And for me, what helped me is that the antivirals that my mom gave me were able to reduce. Yeah. So I didn't get as much spots on my face. Most of them were on my torso. Yeah. You know, they go the way into your groin area. Yeah. It can be embarrassing. You are itching. You know, after healing from chickenpox, I got another sore throat. Yeah. Still, it was like now the last news of chickenpox. So I got a sore throat before and a sore throat after. Yeah. And
this is just interesting. Crazy. Yeah, I think now the fear was for me not to get. I'm like, we've just recovered from COVID. We cannot afford to get chickenpox again. If anything, chickenpox and pregnancy is just something bad. Yeah. Particularly if you're close to giving birth and you're like,
yeah, they actually say that when a kid is born from a mother who recently had chickenpox, the effects on them can be really
these after effects that are not as good. Yeah. So yeah, our trimester was just full of.
Ujamaliza, she never got the chickenpox.
Oh yeah, I didn't. So apparently I just found out that I had gotten it when
she was younger, but she couldn't remember.
I couldn't remember. I knew it's good. But we got it from our nanny. That's where we got it from. We got
so
the
our nanny brought the chicken pox.
So yeah, our son also got it.
Yeah.
After daddy, the son got it.
So I'm like, Remani, good for you. You're done with it.
Yeah, so Remani also got it after Curtis. I'm the only one who did not get it. I was very thankful to get it. I'm like, oh, thank you. And I got it when I was younger. Because ililipita tu kwa nyumba, and I'm like, wow, I could not handle another sort
crazy
of virus after what
because chickenpox is a virus
did to me and recovering from COVID. And whatever Curtis is saying, the after effects of COVID are just as crazy. The fatigue that you can't walk around as much. Talking. I remember even people would call me, I couldn't pick up their phone because
talking was work.
Talking was work. Talking would start will irritate me and I wanted to cough. I didn't have the energy to talk. I couldn't talk because of the cough that would come out of that, and it would be persistent. And I'm like,
But there was a weird thing you used to do during your time of COVID. You used to hum in your sleep.
What?
Yeah. You'd sleep and then I would hear you at night.
Is that humming, singing?
Sometimes it had a tune, sometimes it had no tune. You know me, I thought you were doing it intentionally. The next day, Kakuliza, and you had no idea what I was talking about. I was like, okay.
I think probably it was a way of the body soothing the throat or something.
Maybe. Or maybe your spirit was singing.
Yeah.
You never know.
So, death never felt so sweet.
Yeah, in that time.
Yeah, desire,
So that's just another reason as to why our pregnancy was not the smoothest.
Yes.
But there is light.
At the end.
At the end of this time.
So
next video delivery story.
Yeah, delivery story. We won't extend this one so much because it's
we're not going to stretch.
We're not going to stretch it. We just want to get that way with it just so that the guests can just see.
Okay, now we're not going to do a baby shower because now you see us, we are doing everything after.
Yeah.
So for us, it's not going to be a baby shower. It's going to be a Thanksgiving shower.
Yeah, a Thanksgiving
because we couldn't
party.
do it. Yes, we couldn't do it before.
Yeah.
So now we are giving thanks.
Yeah.
We're giving thanks to God. We're giving thanks
COVID,
to our friends who stood by us all this time.
Yeah.
So it will be a Thanksgiving shower.
Yeah. Next is the delivery.
Delivery ko kivyake.
So we are doing next delivery.
Gender and name.
It's something else. Delivery next video.